All right, welcome back. I'm joined by my usual co-host Noah, and I have fellow Ballhawk first time on this podcast, Joey. We met at Ballhawk Fest last week. Um, it was great meeting him. We're here today to talk about ball hawking and ball hawking blunders and what not to do. We have our own personal stories, and we have some stories that other people have done that we've seen. I'm just gonna give a quick shout out. I actually got this idea from someone on Twitter who tweeted out at Zach and at Alan. The Twitter handle is at wisdom_studios, who actually tweeted something out to give me this idea. So give him a quick shout out and a thanks for helping me with an idea for a video. So Joey, before we get into it, why did you get into ball hawking? Just some questions on ball hawking on your personal end. Like, what made you get into ball hawking?
Mine just not happened by accident. I was out of work last year due to an injury, and my friend and I started going to a minor league game. But because where the stadium's set up, you have to get there early, otherwise you're being stuck in traffic. So we just got there early a couple times, ended up catching a few baseballs during batting practice because the balls just go out of the stadium. And from there, it just kind of became a contest between us of who can get the most amount until finally I just went back by myself a few times, ended up with 20 and 30, and just kind of fell in love with it as far as, hey, look what I can actually do now. Because as a kid, I could never get any of them. So as an adult, it's pretty cool to get 20, 30, 40 of them and to see what you can do.
What is it about ball hawking that you love so much?
I know a lot of people want to say the baseballs themselves, but I actually love meeting everyone else that does it. As I can see Noah leaning up against the screen. Hey, Noah. But just meeting everyone, interacting with the community. Just an example was meeting you guys this past weekend. I mean, that's something I never would have thought of being able to do last year without learning about this, without getting into ball hawking, and without taking time to sit there and just research and reach out to people.
I know for me, it turned into this whole group thing and meeting people. I know that's why I wanted to hear so bad. I was hoping for more people to come up north from the States, but we got probably two of the best, so it worked out. Also, this was your first time in Toronto. What were your thoughts about Toronto and the Rogers Centre? Is there anything you liked about it that you wish were at other stadiums? Anything that you didn't like?
One big thing that I really liked about it that you don't get from a lot of other stadiums, you can walk around the whole concourse. I kind of noted in the video that I did, where you can walk all the way around and you can see the whole field. In a lot of places, you get blocked off. I know in Camden Yards, which is my home stadium, if you walk through the concourse, you can't see anything because they got concession stands, everything blocked off there. So that was one real big plus. One thing I didn't like, which I found out wasn't full time, is the floors were slippery as anything. I mean, I almost fell and busted my knee up on one of the stairs because they just washed it right before we got in. I know Arson almost fell. I saw some other dude that wasn't part of a group tumble down. That was just horrible.
I actually noticed that the day before at the Yankees game. I was running and I know I almost took a tumble and Ball Fest I knew to slow down, and I actually asked Bill Tuesday if he realized that same thing, and he said he's noticing it too. So that is something that has been pointed out to a couple of us. So
well, thanks for telling us ahead of time.
I didn't realize it was a common thing until I went back on Tuesday, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, I noticed it the day before, and what?
Maybe don't run so fast. Take your time.
I don't run down the stairs anymore.
Good.
Is there anything else that you like that you didn't like, or?
I mean, there's a few other things I liked. I liked the amount of ways you could get into the stadium, all the different gates, and how close they were. Some stadiums are so spread out that trying to get from one side to the other is just almost impossible to do. And the fact that they did open early for that day, that was pretty cool. What I didn't like was when the scanners went down and anyone that had to take out on the phone had to run over to another gate. Now, luckily, it was pretty close, but that was kind of bad for them. But overall, the place was beautiful. People are extremely nice, and the food was good. I mean, can't ask for much more than that.
Yeah, like I said, that's the first time I've seen the scanners down.
Yeah.
And
As for the scanners, like I've been to 38 the 40 games over the past 2 years, and I've only seen that one time. So
Same here.
I think maybe it's just that day they were having issues. I don't know.
Same here. So I had Ballhawk Fest talk on the list. I guess we kind of just covered that. So get into the whole blunder things. The tweet that made me, or the tweet that triggered it for me was, the tweet was a reminder to all kids in the outfield: players cannot toss up outs unless it's the third out ball. Have some of you noticed that? I don't know. Have any of you noticed that kids are yelling at for like the first or second ball out?
Oh yeah.
Wait, what did you just say? Justin, what did you just say?
The tweet that somebody tweeted at my Game Balls and Zach that triggered this whole video was reminder to all kids in the outfield: players cannot toss up outs unless it's a third out.
Okay. But you just said like first ball out and second ball out.
Yeah, so kids will go up to the whatever yelling for that ball in the first out ball and the second out ball.
There, now you said it properly. First time you're saying ball out.
Whatever.
We're not doing that again, Noah.
So yeah, do you just want to continue and your thoughts on this too, or have you noticed it?
Are you asking me?
I mean,
whoever wants to take.
Okay,
yeah, go ahead, Noah. You go first.
I'll go. Okay. Yeah, kids always ask for those balls. They don't really understand that like they can't toss it into the crowd. So it's kind of dumb. I don't know why they keep asking for it. Same thing always happens.
Joey?
I mean, I've noticed it too with ground balls going down the line into the corners. They'll ask for players for the ball too, even though the ball's in play.
So yeah, I guess we've all kind of noticed that, and
yeah,
the more you learn, the more you realize that it is about timing. And when it's this person stepping out, there's no way you're gonna get a ball. Third out is the only time you'll get a ball. One thing I noticed too, I was at the game on Tuesday, and I noticed is I was sitting beside a younger kid. I was trying to like tell him when to go up, and he was running up as the Jays were running off the field, and I was sitting behind the Rays dugout. So I was trying to tell him the only time you can get a ball from the Rays is when they're throwing in that warm-up ball or they're coming in from the third out. And I've seen a lot of kids. I noticed it yesterday or on Tuesday. And looking back, I noticed it many times. Kids will run down on the visiting side as the Jays are running off after that third out. I don't know if you guys noticed that too. Or...
Yeah, I've seen that a bunch. I mean, it's just common sense, right? Like the ball's on the completely other side of the field, so I don't see what like the thoughts are. Like, oh, they're gonna throw it over here. It's like no, they're on the other side of the diamond. So.
I mean, I haven't seen it too much because I'm usually in the outfield or down the foul line, not by either of the dugouts. So I mean, that's something I'll keep an eye out for next time I'm at the games. But yeah, one shocking that was going on.
Another thing I noticed too is if it's the third out in the outfield person would run it in and toss that ball up.
It depends. It depends.
I'm just giving you a scenario. I know it's not always, but I'm just giving you a scenario because what I've seen also is the coach will then throw the first baseman a ball as they're running in, and kids will be asking that first baseman for that warm-up ball that they need to get in. First baseman, like, I need this ball. You're not getting it. It's like you have to know who to ask, and in this sort of situation too. So I don't know. Have you guys noticed that too?
I mean, I have noticed where sometimes the first baseman will toss a warm-up ball to the kids, especially later on in the game.
But after they're done warming up, though, right? Not as they're running in after that third out.
No, sometimes even when they're running in, but usually it's a home team where they can, I guess, ask the ball boy for another ball. I have seen it a couple of times.
Noah?
Yeah, nothing more to add on that. It's like I don't know. I haven't noticed that one too much, so.
Do you guys have any stories of stuff that you've seen? Because I know I have some. I don't know if you guys have similar stuff. And I'll let you guys,
how much time do you have?
Do
you want me to explain the Jamie story?
I was gonna get to that. That's gonna be on this video, and I was gonna get.
To okay.
Yeah, I was gonna get to what you have to do at a game under that section. I was gonna mention the Jamie story.
Can I talk about the Seattle game?
That is in a previous video of not standing in one spot and being mobile constantly.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. So this guy, all of us pretty much had the Seattle 40th balls, myself and Allie. And then this guy, trying his hardest and doing his best, standing in a corner all of batting practice, and got shut out during BP. So for next time, there's a team.
Was the last ball of the day from Danny Valencia, luckily.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was a bad game for me, but I'm not going to go there.
I
did
remember
manage
that.
one ball, but it was a really frustrating day.
Oh, that was so funny.
And that gets mentioned in a previous video of being mobile and not staying in one spot. And if there's not a lot of action in the area, move to look where there's a lot of action to move there. That's in our 47-minute video that has almost 800 views. So
yeah, I know. Big time.
Yeah. So one thing that I noticed too, especially when I'm in the outfield, is a lot of kids. When a player gets a ball, we all know what to do. What I see beside me is kids constantly yelling "ball" 20 million times over and over.
Oh, that's so annoying.
Joey, you want to go off that?
Yeah. It's something that my wife and I have noticed a whole bunch of times with the kids just yelling "ball, ball, ball," and I've actually spoke with a couple of players, both minor and major leaguers, about it, and they're just as annoyed as we are. I mean, they'd rather yell out at least even their number, but if you know their name, obviously that's good. But they get so sick of just hearing "ball, ball, ball" or a bullpen instead of just saying their name. They sound like those seagulls from Finding Nemo, with mine, mine, mine.
Ball, 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 ball. It's like you sound like a bunch of ducks. Be quiet.
I mean, it's even worse when they toss the ball up to them. It's like, no, please stop encouraging them. Just
yeah.
Noah, do you want to add anything or?
Here's the deal. These kids, they just say "ball, ball, ball." They don't even say "please" most of the time. It's ridiculous. And at the very least, you got to know the player's name. Like, it's kind of rude just to yell at a stranger for them to give you a ball, right? So I think it's ridiculous. I think it's kind of stupid. But, like, what are you going to do? There's a lot of kids.
So, yeah, any kids that end up watching this video in the future, don't
say ball.
Ball over and over again. Know the player's name.
And then say please. Like, have manners.
Yeah. And that's also saying please and knowing the player's name is mentioned in a previous video.
Yeah.
But I've told kids to calm down. I wanted to tell them to shut up. I told them to calm down, chill out.
Hey, that's rude. Don't be mean to kids.
I kind of said chill out, and I told them to chill out, and I'll help them get a ball. I've done it 2 or 3 times, giving them the ball afterwards, but it just goes to show, calm down. I've also seen it when kids are trying to get autographs from players. I had a couple kids trying to get an autograph from Bruce Maxwell, who was chatting with his girlfriend or fiance, whoever it was, and they're beside me yelling for an autograph. And I turned to them, calm down, I'll help you get an autograph. I have to just wait till he's done. Right after he was done, I said, Bruce, is there any chance you can please sign a couple balls for these kids? And no issue. So that's about waiting for the right time and not interrupting when they're busy off somewhere else. It's like when I got Coach Archer's autograph, I waited till he was done chatting with a really, I guess, a young fan of his. So it's about timing too. I know that wasn't mentioned in our previous video about knowing proper timing.
But I actually like something, a funny story about kids asking for a ball though from the other day. I was in Frederick, and I know you guys probably haven't been to a lot of minor league stadiums, but the players come right out of the clubhouse, walk down the concourse to the field, and there's this kid. Every time a player came out, he would come over and say, "Give me a ball." There's no please, no nothing. Every single player and coach that came out, it was, "Give me a ball, give me a ball, give me a ball." And the kid was probably 8 or 9, and he just kind of sat there and looked at him at first like, "Oh, how that's pretty funny," but by the end, it's like, "Kid, please just stop. You're not getting one."
Yeah.
I've actually seen. I was at the game. Liam Hendricks specifically turned to he heard please, and he specifically turned around. He didn't know who it was, but he said, "Which one of you said please?" It turned out that the person who said please was actually Colin, and he threw Colin the ball. And he turned around. He said, "If you guys have asked," he turned around to a couple people beside Colin and said, "If you guys had said please, I'd go get you a ball, but you didn't say please, so I'm not getting you a ball." I did hear that from him, which I thought was pretty funny to hear, because I know for us it's pretty common and habit now to say please, and it's kind of common sense. But to hear that from a player just reinforced it.
Have you seen the guys
on the
who sit there and
What?
have you guys seen the ones who just stand there and hit their gloves, and they'll hold it up expecting the player to throw the ball? Like they'll be sitting there the whole time, like, "Come on, right here, right."
I have seen that actually. That's usually a bunch of 14 or 15-year-old kids. I think is the average age I've seen that.
What? The smack on the glove, like right here?
Smack on the glove and.
That worked for me though a couple games ago. Like when I would stand back in the foul ground when they're done throwing.
It depends. It depends where you are, but you know when they're gonna throw to you. You're not just doing it for the sake of doing it, trying to get attention, right? Like if you know they're throwing, make big motions and stuff to try and get their attention. That's what I do.
Yeah,
See they're looking around and they don't know where to throw it. I'm like this to them, trying to make big motions to get myself noticed. Also, players do like to throw far. Some players like to throw 20 rows back. Some like to throw close. The Orioles always like to throw far. So that's one thing.
I have something on that. Was that?
Are we okay?
Oh, you just froze for a second.
Okay, yeah, continue.
Yeah, so that the Angels game I was at, they were warming up. I don't know who it was. Like they were all throwing down the right field line, and there was a huge crowd of like just Jays fans and Angels fans in the front row. And then I'm standing probably 25 rows back, waving my arms up in the air like this. I got my Angels shirt on, and one of the players looks at me, and then I give him a target, and I say, 1 sec. I move like 15 rows even further back, and he throws a strike right to me. It's stuff like that where you'll get more notice that way and end up getting more baseballs
if you watch
by like thinking outside the box.
If you watch Zach's videos, he's
no, I came up with that myself. Yeah. I don't know who that guy is. He sounds like a fraud.
We don't know who he is either.
No.
Another thing that I've noted is kids saying if it's a center fielder, they're like, "Yo, center fielder over here, center fielder over here." Kind of like the ball idea. Same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys.
Kids really need to learn like what they're saying and how it could be taken.
Like I had one game last year in Bowie where kids just sat there and yelled out, "Hey, bullpen, bullpen, bullpen" to the opposing team. They didn't say names or anything, just kept yelling, "Bullpen, bullpen, bullpen." And one of the players turned and said, "My name's not Bullpen."
That's what I would say. That's hilarious.
I've heard stories like that too. Yeah. So, what not to do when ball hawking? Do you guys have any tips of what not to do that we haven't already said?
You could go first.
Much, all right. One thing not to do is, physically hit another person going for a ball or someone that's a ball hawk. Like I've seen it in Baltimore a few times where a couple of guys will come down and pretty much straight up tackle you or push you out of the way for a ball. It's like that's just I've seen it in the minor leagues too, where a guy will physically come up and push kids or even adults out of the way. It's like, dude, it's a $12 ball. Go on eBay if it means that much to you. That kind of takes some people out of ball hawking, which is a shame. But physical violence is my number one thing that I dislike about it.
You should just arrest the guys if they do that to you.
Yeah.
No, I've had my one issue with someone so far, and I dealt with them in the parking lot, and I haven't had an issue with them since.
This was in Baltimore, right? I think you told me about the story. It involved your work, right?
Yeah, it was in Frederick.
Oh, okay.
It was in Frederick. But ever since then, everywhere he sees me, he avoids me. He goes like 20 rows to the side because he doesn't want to deal with me anymore after that one.
Because I know with Noah, myself, and Ali, we all have mutual respect to stay out of each other's way.
For the most part, yeah.
Unless you're Noah and you follow me around, but that's another story.
Or you sit right beside me.
What do you mean?
At the bullpen.
There's not that much room there to really spread out that much. So unlike the Dermody ball, we all know you piggybacked off me there.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Is there anything that you've seen that's made you laugh from that people have done and you shook your head?
Every single time you go to the ballpark, it makes me laugh.
Wow.
Just makes me chuckle.
You see what I have to deal with? That's why I nailed them right in the balls when we were playing softball.
Filled with joy.
That was my payback that I was telling you about because I have to deal with this every single day.
Well, you know, that's what happens, I guess.
So, Joey, over to you?
Oh, I'm sorry. What was the question again? I was just laughing at Noah getting hit in the nuts during Ballhawk Fest again.
Listen, that wasn't even that funny, and it happened twice, all right?
Oh, that makes it twice as funny.
Exactly. So if you want, anytime you get hit in the balls, we've called it doing the Noah. So if you can get that
No,
then
no.
that would be awesome.
It's not a thing.
Oh, it's going to be a thing after this.
It's not a thing.
But is there anything you've seen that made you laugh from kids or anything? Or
Not that I can really think of, other than a kid or someone getting caught switching jerseys or hats in front of another player, and it's kind of getting that deer in the head that looks like, oh crap, and then the player just tossing the ball everywhere but to that person.
Noah almost changed in front of a player.
What? I didn't even know. I was joking, okay?
I was the one who told you not to, but that's besides the point. I almost got.
I was joking. Listen, you. I was joking.
Noah was going to take off his Jays jersey in front of the Angels bullpen as the Jays were moving off.
Yeah, as a joke. I wasn't actually going to. You misread what I was doing.
Whatever. But going to switching jerseys, I know I told this to Noah and I told it to Ali. I almost got caught putting on my Jays jersey in front of one of the Angels pitching coaches or bullpen coach. It was the Fan Fest Friday before the Ballhawk Fest. There's ramps to get up and down to the different levels, and this coach was coming up from the bullpen to ask one of their super fans to come down into the bullpen and hang out. And unexpectedly, I don't expect the player to come and start walking around the 100 level. So as he's walking up the ramp, I'm pulling out my Jays jersey to put on. Luckily, I see it on the corner of my eyes. I shove my Jays jersey back in, pull up my Ace hat, put that on. So I chatted with him a bit. I went to look for the Ace fan. I couldn't find him. But that was basically, he's like, where was I sitting? I told him where I was sitting, and I was stuck in Angels gear all game because I didn't want to get caught. So
How come you didn't go down to the bullpen either, too?
He didn't ask me to come down. I was hoping he would. But that's my almost.
You should have been like, I'm like the biggest Angels fan ever.
But yeah, so do you want to add anything, Joey, Noah?
Something funny. I don't really know. Not too much funny stuff that happens usually. I mean, it was kind of annoying when Arson robbed me of a ball at Ballhawk Fest, but you should have seen it. It was a home run right to me. I put my glove up, just like this, and he puts his glove literally right in front of mine and steals the ball.
Well, I ran into Bill by accident, so.
I mean, in Arson's defense, he's like 7 feet tall, so
yeah,
he can just reach across the entire section and rob you.
I was so mad
at catch, so that's beside the point.
What do you mean I can't catch? I can catch better than you.
Whatever.
Listen, that was, and I shoved him into the steps after that, so I got even with him.
Oh,
wait, you pushed him?
Yes, aggressively.
Okay, so you're coming to Ballhawk Fest next year, right?
Depends. As long as
we will be on either side. No, we'll be in the middle. We'll shove him, right?
Yep.
Payback, right? And then during the game, we'll get him again and do another Noah.
Listen, that's not happening, okay?
Don't worry about it. So yeah.
Where do you think it's gonna be next year?
I hope. I don't know.
Come on. I'm wondering.
My gut says New York, but I'm hoping it's going to be somewhere else. Washington will be cool.
Yeah, anywhere in the eastern part, there'll be lots of interest.
Atlanta would be cool. Greg or Matt, if you watch this, if you can apply for it, then having that SunTrust, that would be pretty cool.
How many Ballhawks are there?
There's 2 or 3.
Oh.
Greg Fury and Matt Stosha.
Yeah, that's nothing. They need like 12 to 16.
But I'm just saying, if you guys apply for it, then it would be pretty cool to get it.
What about even something like Boston? I mean, I don't know if there's any Ballhawks there, but a classic stadium, classic area.
That would be pretty cool too. I know Boog in San Diego would probably try for it.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool.
They did Baltimore 2 years ago, so.
They did, yeah, last year.
Yeah, so 2 years ago from.
All right.
This.
But New York wants to do Citi Field and Yankee Stadium, 2 and 2.
I mean, that'd be all right, but it'd be expensive as hell because New York's not cheap.
But we'll see. We should apply for it again.
Oh my God, back to back, they'd be so pissed.
You know. So yeah, changing gear was actually on my list. So we've covered that. I'm saving this one for the one of the end.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Do you guys have any funny player interaction stories that you've been involved in terms of chat?
I have to think about
Go
that.
Go ahead, Noah.
I have to think. I don't know. Any funny interaction with the players?
Yeah.
Just like in general or related to Ballhawking?
Just in general, any MLB type player. Or minor leaguer, including Alex Katz, because we all know you've chatted with him pretty much.
Yeah, I got a few minor league stories. You know, like talking with Alex. So the first video I did where I actually interviewed him, he promised to save me a couple of baseballs because batting practice got rained out. And a couple of kids came up to get his autograph. And we were trying, he just pulled out 3 baseballs and handed them to me. All the kids were like, "Oh my God, can I get one? Can I get one?" I was like, "No, they were kind of saved for him." Then same thing when Bowie with Austin Lynn's catcher for in the Orioles organization. I was chatting with him, and kids would come down and just put a ball right up in front of him, say sign it, and he made them actually say please. It's like, well, what do you want me to do? It's like, oh, can I have the ball? Like, well, can you sign it? Well, what do you have to say? So we'd have to lean over and tell him, look, say please so he can sign it.
No, do you have any?
Not really funny, but like I'm kind of pissed at the entire Oakland A's pitching staff, not pitching staff, coaching, because the 2 games I saw, 5 of their coaches said they would get me a ball, and they promised me, like, all right, I'll get you a ball. None of them delivered, so I'm mad at them. It wasn't really that funny. You should
fight with Nick.
I will. It was wrong. Okay, they lied to me. 5
Players
times.
do that. So I've seen it done down by the dugout area too. So that's
yeah.
But for me, the Houston Astros pitching coach, I know I've mentioned it to Noah and Ali multiple times, but I had about a 15-minute, 20-minute conversation with the pitching coach on Aaron Sanchez's bobblehead day. Basically, I was just like, "Oh, how's it going? Good game last night." Blah blah blah. He's like, "Yeah, unfortunately, you guys are having good years." He's like, "Yeah, but we lost yesterday." Blah blah blah. I'm like, "What we got today?" I'm chatting him. Dallas Keuchel was warming up, and I was like, "Oh, that's Keuchel over there doing his first ball playing session?" He's like, "Yeah." You know when he's gonna come back? He's like, "Well, if I told you when he was gonna come back, I kind of have to kill you." I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And then I was like, "Yeah, I really could use Keuchel back for my fantasy team. My team's hurting, and I really need Keuchel." He's like, "Well, I think if I were you, and I was managing your team, I would actually trade Keuchel for Aaron Sanchez." This was on Aaron Sanchez bobblehead day, so you saw Aaron Sanchez all around the stadium.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I'm actually too loyal to you guys. I love you guys. You guys are my team. I'm wearing Houston hat, Houston shirt. He's like, loyalty doesn't get you anywhere in life. Just look at Justin Verlander and Kate Upton. Kate Upton's taking all his time, and Justin Verlander is really shooting the bed right now. So we were chatting about that, and then it got to the point where he started talking about some stuff that I can't mention on here. And then he's like, started talking about kids and how young I am and how he only has a dog because his dog listens and obeys him. And he's like, yeah, girls, he's like, you got to listen to the wife, happy life. And he just went on and on about this.
I can attest to that.
Gives me a fist bump, shakes my hand. So it's pretty interesting to have a conversation with him.
Yeah.
That's basically just a quick sum of it. So that's probably my story. Too bad I didn't get that on film, but that's probably my craziest interaction with a player.
You should have got a picture with him at least.
Yeah, I don't know. I was whatever. Carlos Munoz, he was signing and I turned to him. I was like, "Oh, by the way, I bought your shirt. I love your shirt." And I told him his shirt. Well, he's Ballista one, which means baseball player. He's like, "Which one did you get?" I said, "I got the gray one." And I planned to get it, and I never ended up getting it. Shipping costs cost more
You
than
liar.
but that was also another cool interaction. And then I had a cool interaction with Joe Smith down in Seattle. I was with my buddy, and my buddy's like, "I'll chug this container of grasshoppers if you throw me a ball." He thought that my buddy was offering him the container of grasshoppers. He's like, "I don't want it." He's like, "We already tried it though." My buddy's like, "How did it? How did you like it?" He's like, "It tastes like chicken." Was his response. So that was pretty funny. A girl next to me, also in Seattle, asked Aaron Sanchez for a ball. And she's like, "I want your balls." I'm referring to as I'm not even gonna go there. And he went like this and shook his head. That and also, my buddy is friends with Aaron Sanchez's girlfriend. So we chatted with him a bit about that in Seattle. And then when he was here in Toronto, I told him I knew his girlfriend, and he threw me a baseball. So I thought that was pretty cool. So those are my interesting stories of interacting.
I know. Because you said something about the girl saying something to him about wanting his balls, I actually have a funny story from the other day, too. My wife had this shirt on from, y'all know the movie Keanu about the kitten that was kind of kidnapped and everything. She had a shirt that said "Kitten Please" across the front. And we're there in Frederick seeing Alex Katz, and we're over there talking to him. A couple of people were like, "Oh, is she trying to hook up with that guy? Because she's wearing a shirt that says "Ken, please," and his name is Katz." I'm like, no.
That's pretty funny.
So yeah, one tip that so one tip that wasn't mentioned in the video. I know I mentioned this to Noah many times. I find Noah can be too aggressive when asking for a ball. He asks. So my thing is be patient. And not too aggressive. Noah, I've seen him ask 20 million times the same guy for the ball. They'll ask before, in the middle, and after, and I feel you miss out on balls on that way.
What are you talking about?
If you want to respond to that, go ahead. It's just something I wanted to point out. And it's pretty funny to watch, too. Because
I don't understand you.
It actually happened with the Angels, and when I got Parker Brinderwell a warm-up ball. I don't know if you remember that. So
yeah, I remember that. But what did I do?
You were asking for it, and I thought you were being too aggressive, and I waited right till the end to ask for it, and he tossed it right to me. So I'm just saying.
I answered at the same time you did. What are you talking about?
I'm just saying from what I observed.
You're twisting. You are making.
What I observed. You asked him for quite a bit. So.
No, I disagree with what you said.
Okay, whatever. Should have taped it.
I think I'm very respectful.
I never said you weren't respectful.
My parents brought me up to be respectful.
I'm not saying you're not respectful. I'm just saying you're a bit too aggressive and not patient.
I'm not impatient. How am I impatient?
I'm just saying from what I've observed, and I've told you this
before
too.
You can't just say I'm just saying. It's like saying you're terrible. I'm just saying. It's like that doesn't make it true.
Whatever. I'll film it next time, and then and I'll tweet it to Joey.
You do that.
I'll see where I'm coming from. Joey, any thoughts on aggression and being patient when asking for a ball and proper timing?
Proper timing is kind of when a player gets it, and you can tell he's kind of looking up into the stands to throw a ball. I mean, we've all seen it during batting practice. You know which players aren't going to throw it, or when they're just picking up and throwing it back to the bucket, but you still got tens of kids and one Noah standing over there yelling the whole time for the ball, even though you know they're not going to throw it to anyone in the stand. And you just kind of have to pick and choose. Like you said, your timing. Pick and choose when to ask, where to ask. Don't ask for it during the pitcher warming up in the bullpen. Ask for it right afterwards.
I've seen kids yelling for it as they're warming up too. So, like kids want the ball as they're warming up. It's like I've seen pitchers say, "I need this ball."
Or even before they start warming up, when they bring the bag of balls to the foul line and they just start stretching and they start yelling, "Give me a ball, give me a ball!" It's like they need those to warm up before the game.
Yeah.
Noah, do you want to say anything or?
No.
He's too aggressive.
Yeah.
I'm angry.
So So yeah, this is gonna be no. I got 2 more things on my list that I want to hit. This is actually one of Noah's favorite things, and stupid things we've done while trying to ballhawk.
Well, I've never done anything stupid, but you've had
I'll
your
get to
experiences.
that. But one thing I wanted to point out, I did talk with a fellow ballhawk about something, and I want to bring it up. I think it was Houston that they saw. I can't remember where. I think it was in New York. They turned to the player and said, "Throw me." They're like, "I'm a fan." Blah blah blah. They're waving the hat. I'm like, "I'm the biggest A's fan ever." Waving their hat. The player turned them and was like, "No, you're not. You're a fake fan," or something along that line. In my head, it's like, if you're wearing that shirt, you don't need to say you're a fan. They should just be able to know if you're a fan or not wearing their gear. So saying you're a fan of the team, I think, is overkill. Do you guys have anything to say to that, or like, look, I'm a fan, or?
I mean, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It usually depends on the player with that line. Like, I've had that work, and I've had that not work, too. So,
I mean, you probably see the players enough where they'll know or they'll recognize people throughout the season, whether they have changed jerseys or, watched videos. I mean, at this point, all of MLB knows that Zach changes stuff and realizes that probably a lot of people follow him and probably do the same thing where they'll change shirts and hats and everything. So, y'all know I'm a fan. Like you said, just overkill doesn't work. Just wear the stuff and support it.
Noah?
I already said what I had to say.
Okay. So I didn't know if you had anything else to add. I didn't know if you had anything else to add. So I guess I know Noah wants me to say this. I don't really want to say it, but it is funny.
You have to.
My Jamie Garcia, or AKA Jaime Garcia story. It was during the Atlanta game. I yelled out Jamie multiple times. He finally turned to me and said, "Who's Jamie?" So I was like, "You are." He turned to me and said, "No, I'm not Jamie." I look at my phone, and he's looking at me this whole time, and I read his name. It said Jamie. I'm like, "Yeah, you're." And I literally pulled back and said, "Yeah, you're Jamie." And he just shook his head and ignored me a bit. A ball came right under the fence, right by me. He picks it up, he looks up at me, and he says, "My name's Jaime." I was like, "Oh, my bad, sorry." And he just walked off and went somewhere else. So I mispronounced his name. In full Atlanta gear.
Justin.
Yeah?
What's his last name?
Garcia.
And you wouldn't have thought that, like, maybe it's like a different pronunciation because he's like.
I've seen Jamie spelled like that many times.
Latin.
So that didn't cross my mind.
And who spells Jamie like that? That's such a weird.
Jamie?
I guess so.
Yeah, Jamie.
And he. Yeah, I guess. I mean, for someone who doesn't know baseball, such as yourself, it's easy to mispronounce names. Well, I mean, he's a good pitcher. You should know his name. He was really good for the Cardinals.
Joey, any thoughts or comments?
I mean, I've done it before too, where players are having the warm-up jerseys on, and you're just kind of looking at your phone or roster like, who is this person? And you end up saying the wrong name or something, and just feeling like a complete idiot right afterwards.
All right, I'm gonna unveil something to you, Justin. I don't think I've told you, but 2 years ago at a Baltimore game, I called Michael Gibbons Jonathan because I thought he was Jonathan Scope because back then they didn't have the numbers on the thing, and he was like the only black guy in the outfield, and I made a mistake and I called him Jonathan.
Hey, you should have said that because now I'm just gonna rip on you now for that.
He looked at me. He's like, "Who's Jonathan?" I'm like, it's not you, is it?" Like, "No, my name's Michael." I'm like, "Sorry." But then he ended up giving me a ball. But
at least I had the right name and I didn't completely butcher the entire player's name. I had the right.
I apologized and then he gave me a ball after. So
I said sorry too. I said sorry, my bad. But at least I had the right name.
But that was like only the second game when I was ever ball hawking. So I was really like a rookie.
You shouldn't You shouldn't ball hawk unless you know what you're doing.
That's not true. You do that every game.
Whatever. No comment.
No, that was literally like my second game ever doing it. So like I didn't even really have my roster.
Yeah, I've only made that one mistake.
You made more than one mistake.
I don't really consider standing one spot a blunder.
biggest blunder ever.
Calling the wrong name is a blunder.
Didn't you drop like a home run one time?
No.
Okay.
No, I've never dropped a home run.
Do we have anything else?
Yeah, I just thought of something before ending it. For me, going back to before the biggest blunders that we've done, I've had a player look at me and kind of like shake their head. I'm not giving you a ball. You're too old, and I was decked out in their full gear. So that made me stop asking them. Also, I noticed Roberto Osuna, Cesar Valdez will not throw to anyone other than kids, so I never ask them anymore for a ball. I'm not sure if Noah, you've noticed that too with them too.
Well, here's the thing.
So it's for me, it's knowing that okay, I'm not going to ask them for a ball because I know they won't throw me. So I go and look for other people to get balls from that I know will throw to me. Noah, Joey, do you have anything to? I know Joey's mentioned it before.
Just a story about Osuna. So the first Fan Fest game I went to last year, I was in my. I was wearing the visitor team jersey because I didn't think that it was actually Fan Fest that day. I didn't really know about it. So I get inside. I think I was wearing Orioles gear or whatever, and I asked Roberto for a ball, and he literally whipped it like 90 miles an hour off that like the inside bullpen wall, the metal part. Just made the loudest sound, and he looked at me like, "Oh, why didn't you catch it?" I'm just like, Roberto, man, you threw it 15 feet below me at 95 miles an hour. What the hell? So I guess he doesn't like the visiting team.
I've had players underthrow me too and look at me like, why didn't you catch it? I'm like, you threw it.
Yeah, they've sucked big time this year. Like they just suck.
The Orioles are nobody here likes the Orioles. None of us Toronto Ballhawks like the Orioles, and I've heard it amongst other Ballhawks when they've seen the Orioles on the road too. So
I don't like the Orioles.
No, it's not just on the road either. They do the same thing at home where they really don't throw anything up for anyone.
They're jerks.
And they don't throw close. They like to look for people far.
Yeah, Adam Jones is so weird. He'll throw it into like the second deck from first base at the end.
Toronto is like that too.
Yeah.
And I know Zach points it out in his video in Minnesota. So those are also things to look out for in tendencies of players, because if you know them, you can get them. I know Quinn mentioned about Chris Davis and what like him to throw far when he was here. So he got a ball because he knew how to position that. And the last thing is why do you think everyone goes crazy for a ball? Like, what is it really a ball? Why do you think everyone goes crazy for it? Because it is just a ball. We all go crazy for balls, but ultimately, when you think about it, it is just a ball. What do you guys have to say?
I mean, I've always looked at it like it's kind of like fishing, where like catching a fish, like you most of the time you just put it back, but it's like the anticipation of it happening, and then that feeling when you finally reel it in, that's the most exciting feeling in the world. And I feel like a lot of people are drawn to that, and they just want to catch it. It's not so much about keeping it or whatever, because I know a lot of people give away every single baseball they get. It's just about that catching the ball or getting a ball thrown to you that I think people really enjoy.
Joey?
I mean, it's about the same thing as what Noah said, and it's also that feeling of, hey, out of everyone in the stands, out of everyone here, I managed to get one, and you feel like kind of being a part of the game. It's something they use. I mean, how often do you see fans get footballs or hockey pucks or anything like that, and how excited they are?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with both, and I can't remember who it was, but somebody actually did point that out to me with the fishing reference. I don't remember who it was, but I have heard that before.
Yeah.
Before we end it, do you have any last crazy kid stories that you want to share that kind of made you laugh?
No, I don't laugh at any.
All right, so I guess that's it. Thank you, Joey, for joining Noah and myself. Hope you liked the video. Please subscribe and please press like on the video if you liked it. Also, Joey, do you want to say your YouTube channel quickly so people can go and find you before I end this?
Yeah, I do have a YouTube channel, and thanks to Ali, I actually have a hat for it right now, but it's missing the underscores. It should be legend_of_Joey. Just posted a video recently, and Frederick was at Campbell, and then posted a video right before that of 2017 Toronto Ballhawk Fest. Which
I don't think I'm gonna watch it.
You haven't seen it yet, Noah?
No, I'm not gonna see it anymore. I'm not gonna watch it again. I don't like the first little bit of it. That part out.
Okay, well then skip over it and skip to the rest of it. I mean, it's pretty awesome. It's got almost 200 views for a reason. I mean, you
it is a good
one. Help get 100 of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, so go check out Joey's stuff over on his YouTube channel. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and please press the like button. And thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope you watch other stuff coming up. Thank you.
Definitely.